In Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Season 1, Episode 5, titled In Name of the Mother. And this episode, I think, is the weakest episode of the season. So we'll see how the final episode goes next week. But I think this is the weakest episode of the season. Because what you have is momentum, and you killed the momentum with the flashback. Now, the flashback, I thought it was a situation of what happened way back in the original series in Season 1, where they didn't have enough of a budget to do a big battle, so they had, Tyrion getting knocked out. I thought that was the situation going on there. But even if that was the case, I just felt that the flashback, the whole, 15-minute flashback was totally unnecessary. This is a situation where I feel like sometimes with TV, there's that need to, we need to show everything. Show no tell. Why? And good thing about television, we can show every little thing about that character's life. And I go, but do we though? Do we? Do I really need to see what Duncan's life was before he before he bumped into his knight? Do I want to see the origin of his mentor? Not really. All I know is and all that was needed for that 15 minutes, personally, was the final 1 minute of the flashbacks. Because if you want to have the mentor motivating your main character as an adult through memories, while saying get up, that that kind of motivation, you only need to do is show that final minute where young Duncan, he's limping, he's tired, he's exhausted, he collapses to the floor, and his mentor walks to him, offers some water, and say, "Get up." That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Because the whole thing about him basically being Aladdin, and I just go, a Westeros Aladdin, it dragged the momentum with the context of the scene that we had, which is his tournament scene. You had a whole episode building it up, and we had 2 minutes of it, or 5 minutes of it, and then you knock the main character out, and then you have this 15-minute flashback, which was totally unnecessary. This feels like, and we'll see how episode 5, the final episode 6 is, but this felt like this is a 5-episode show getting stretched out into 6. Half this episode felt filler. And I get the whole, it's all about the characters, we need to know about the characters, but story comes first. And story, characters are there to suit the story, not the other way around. And it just felt, it just didn't feel necessary to understand what, to know everything about Duncan as him as a child. I just, we had enough, information. We just don't need the rest of it, sometimes it needs to be Batman in the before Batman Begins. Maybe it is a simple situation where we just need Death of the Waynes, I'm in a batsuit, and that's all sometimes we need in stories. Don't need to explain everything. Now, the final 10 to 15 minutes of the tournament battle, it is brutal, it is violent, it feels realistic with the sense of how tired these people are. Because if you're getting a mace in your head, and you're getting stabbed, and you're getting totally unbelievably if you're getting a mace and getting stabbed and you're punching, and it's going to get tiring, and to the point of your body is going to collapse, and it's going to say, "Can I have 5 minutes, please? Can I have 5 minutes of can I just rest for like a couple of minutes before we continue? Now the cinematography of that fire I thought was very good. Like, it does fall, and even the fire at the like halfway through the episode where the mentor knight, you know, busts in and fights the fights the Targaryen, not Targaryen, the Lannister Knights. But yeah, I thought that was a little bit choppy, a little bit like close cut, and very not that fight wasn't that handled that well. The main one thought was shot pretty good, and you kept, of course, I kept going ooh 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 in the process of it. Now the final minute, seeing the I forgot the character's name, but the knight who showed the Targaryen who shows up at the last minute beyond Duncan's side, him like dying just from taking the helmet off because he got a mace to his head too many times, to his helmet too many times. You can tell. I'm like, shit. It is also, mind you, is Game of Thrones, because the last couple episodes, like the first half of the first half of the season, it's very lighter. There's some humor, like we laugh at, like, shitting in a tree and the 20-inch dick and all that kind of stuff. And this is the one, it's like 4, 5, and probably also 6 is reminding everyone, like, yeah, we'll probably have fun, we'll have lighthearted moments, but it's Game of Thrones. Don't get attached to anyone. Definitely don't get attached to everyone. So yeah. Sadly, I did thought this is the weakest episode of the season so far. So far, no, I got one more. And it's probably going to be like a bit of a epilogue and leading up to wherever season 2 will be. Which, if I had to guess, is Duncan becomes eggs or not egg. It's not egg. It's Aegon. Main knight, head knight, probably. That's probably what it's going to be. It's like probably swap the roles of Duncan's now to Swire. It's not Egg anymore. So probably that's what season 2 is probably going to be about. But anyway, if you've seen the episode, comment below, let me know your thoughts and tell me how crazy I am that that I thought the final, those 15 minutes flashbacks were absolute pointless. Pointless, I say. Pointless! Pointless!